Hello everyone, welcome back to my crafting world. This is Anna. I am using the Prima Hello Pink Autumn for the tutorial of this project. So guys, let me tell you that ASC is trying to get more of the Prima 31 Halloween paper pads. So keep checking back with them. They, that sold out so fast. And then this one will probably sell out just as fast. So if you guys are looking for the Hello Pink Autumn by Prima, go check them out. They still have some in stock. I checked before I got on here. And because this may go just as fast as the Prima 31. So just letting you know. So I was watching a lady. I'm assuming her name is Isabel. Her YouTube channel is Isabel's Crafts and Designs. So I used 4 milk cartons. She used 3. And I'm going to make one with you guys. And my craft area is in my bedroom. And my husband is up for work at 4 a.m. And I wasn't sleepy. So I thought I would I just grabbed a few supplies. Because I had already watched the video, and for this one I actually used the Prima Christmas Sparkle by Frank Garcia, because this is the first paper pad that I was able to grab. So that's what this one is made out of. So we're not going to use that one today, but this is my prototype. So let's go ahead and make one of these. Let me tell you what you're going to need. For the memory dex card itself, I cut this at 4 3/8 by 4. And I did cut 2 of them so I can make it nice and sturdy. I'm going to glue these together. And like I said, they're 4 3/8 by 4 inches high. Put these together. So I'm just going to glue these together to make it nice and sturdy. So there is my memory dex card. This is my base. So I think I'm going to go ahead and round the corners. I'm going to use the 1/2 inch punch and round these corners a little bit just so it's not so square. So there are my corners. Okay. That was for the memory dex card. Now for the milk cartons, we need 4.5 by 3 piece of cardstock. Now I did not use 110-pound cardstock for this because it's already a tight fit, because I do use it for the little box, the milk crate box. So this is 65-pound cardstock, but I'm going to layer this so it's going to be nice and sturdy. So 4.5 by 3, and on the 4.5 inch side, I'm going to score at 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then I'm going to flip it around, and it doesn't matter which way you flip it. I always flip down. So on the short side, I'm going to score at 3/4 of an inch, which is right here. And then 2 inches. And then 2 3/4 right here. Okay, and that's all the scoring we need to do with that. So I'm going to go ahead and burnish all my score marks. This is our milk carton, and as you can tell, this little, the smallest score mark is the top right here. So we're going to do a little bit of cutting, and we're only going to cut here at the bottom. So I'm going to angle cut down on this first strip, and I'm just going to cut this right off right here, right at the score line. I'm cutting that off. And then I'm going to wedge each of the score marks at the bottom. So you should have something that looks like that. Okay, So this is our flat milk carton so far. What I went ahead and did, I have cut my little matting pieces that go right here on my milk carton. Okay, so these matting pieces are 1 1/8 in height and 7/8 of an inch in width. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead, and I did ink the edges. I'm going to go ahead and glue these on there. So my matting pieces are on there. Now I'm going to put my box together. So I folded this one right here. So what I'm going to do is just put glue on this tab right here that we have created. I'm going to fold this down and fold this across, and then that becomes our box. Now time to assemble the bottom. So I simply I did put a little glue right here on this one. Hold it down. I'm going to put glue on the inside of the remaining 2 flaps. So fold that down, fold this down. Make sure my box is nice and square before I actually let it dry. And then flip it over and just push down with my finger. That is our milk carton. This is the back because this is where the seam is at. Push these 2 in with your index fingers, and then try to line them up before you actually give it that final squeeze. So what I did was I tried to make sure my sides were as even as I could get them, and then I squeezed. Okay, and then there is our milk carton, guys. You take your little pin. I mean, at this point, you could actually glue it together if you didn't want to add a closure or anything like that. That is the milk carton, guys. Nice and simple. So you need to make this 4 times. For our little milk crate box, I cut a piece of cardstock, and this is the same cardstock as the Memory Dex card, this is 100-pound cardstock. So this is 7 1/4 by 3 inches. So we're going to score this on the 7 1/4 inch side. I'm going to score at 1/2 inch right here, 1 1/2, and then I'm going to flip it completely around, and I'm going to do the same score marks. 1/2 inch, and then 1 1/2, and then I'm going to flip it on the short side, and I'm going to score at 1 and 2. Okay, so each of these sections are 1 inch. Now I'm going to go ahead and burnish. Okay, everything is scored. So this is going to go up this way. That makes our little crate. So we're going to have to release these right here. So we're going to cut right down the middle of the score mark to the second score line. We're going to do that on both sides. Okay. So we're going to cut these off, and I'm going to cut the score line off, guys. You know, I like to cut my score line off. Cut this off. And there we go. Now, so our box is going to go this way, and I'm going to clean up this edge by folding this in right there. So before we do that, I am going to go ahead and mat my box. For my mat pieces, I cut my mat at 1 1/8 inch long by 7/8 of an inch wide. I cut 2 of them because I'm going to go ahead and do the bottom, because you will be able to see the bottom on the Dex card. And I cut 2 of them so that I can cover the bottom. And then with the strips, with the same strips, I went ahead and cut the ends, which is 7/8 of an inch by 7/8 of an inch. Okay, so I'm going to glue those down before I glue my box together. Okay, so I have glued down my matting pieces. Now I'm going to assemble my box. So what I'm going to do is just glue these tabs together, and I'm just going to put a little bit of glue right there just so it'll hold while I'm trying to form the box. And just make sure that your tops here are even. And then I'm going to put glue on the entire top right here. I'm going to fold up and in. So there is my little milk crate. Okay, so ready to go. Make sure my corners are tucked in. So I'm going to glue my box down this way. At about 3/4 of an inch from the bottom is where I glued the first one. About 3/4 of an inch. And it does fit from side to side with just a tiny bit left over. I didn't want the box to extend anymore. That's why I made my base just a little bit wider than, 4 inches. I am going to put glue on the back of my milk crate. And I'm going to measure 3/4 of an inch from the bottom, just so I can get it even, straight across. So hopefully I can do that right here. Tiny bit left over on each side. I think that's as even as it's gonna get for me. Okay, now I am going to burnish this from the inside and make sure that it doesn't move on me. So I'm going to let this set for a second. There it is, guys, almost at the end. Now my matting piece, I cut this back mat for the memory for the card. So it's 4 1/8 inch across and 3 1/8 inch in height. I went ahead and inked the edges. I'm going to glue this inside the box. So you can put your pattern paper down before you put the box down, but I just didn't want this part to show on the memory dex card. So I said, well, I can just put my card or my mat on the front this way, and it kind of hides that seam. So let me glue that down. There we go. So this is our card, our memory dex card. Now let's get our milk cartons. And let's fill this up with our milk cartons. Now it is going to be a snug fit, but I made it that way because I didn't want the cartons to fall out. So that it is a snug fit, but it's not so snug that you couldn't, push them in and take them out. So there is our memory dex card. Here's the side view. Of course, we can always put something on the back if you want to. So I am going to decorate this, and I'll be back. I have finished my milk box memory dex card. So I wanted to remind you what my prototype looked like, and this is it. And this is my finished memory dex card right here. Oh my gosh, guys, this was so much fun. Honestly, it really, really was. Let me tell you, I added a dangle here. There's a little heart with a little flower here. And I made a bow. I put a bling piece in the center. And then I cut out some fall leaves, and I did ink the edges, and then I put stickles around it. And then I made this fun flower. I think those are poinsettias, but they're tiny, tiny. That's an AliExpress die. So I cut it out with the paper from the paper pad, and I stickled the ends of the flowers, and then I stuck a gold vase filler ball in the middle, the glittered ones. And then on my milk cartons, I die cut the word fall and put it on there. And then for the little clothespins, I just put a little bling piece right in the center of the clothespins. So for the front, I use some pops of color here, beautiful iridescent white. Here's another flower, and this is from the cut aparts page, and it's up on foam for some dimension. And on the heart, I put stickles around it, or around the heart, and then I put some glossy accents on the top, just so that heart in the center of that cup of coffee would really pop. And then I put another leaf on this side, and this is a copper colored cardstock. So this is what it looks like. And on the back, again, I didn't do anything on the back. Now I can fill up my little milk cartons with smaller doodads, you know, beads and bling pieces, and so we really can fill up the little milk cartons with smaller items. And because, you know, there is some space in there. So that's the inside of the milk carton, and so we can actually still load it up. And there we go. And you don't have to use this. You can use whatever closure, paper clip, or whatever closure, whatever kind of clip you have, or you could just glue it all the way shut. And there is my memory Dex card. So I did one extra thing for this card. I went ahead and made a box for it. This is a simple box. It's 5 by 5, and it's 1.5 inches deep. I only embellished the front of the box, and it's minimal embellishing. I made a bow, a double loop bow with this beautiful trim that I have. So I just made a double loop bow. And this one was sent to me by Sherry a few swaps ago. And then again, I cut the leaves out with a die that I have in my stash. And I really like the cut aparts page. And I didn't know which of the cut aparts to use. So I thought, well, let me use them all. And each corner has a little sentiment on it. And then around it, I use that gorgeous page with all the pumpkin, all the beautiful colors with the beautiful butterfly. And that's all I did to the box, guys. So that way it could house my memory Dex card. So on the inside, just to show you, I just cut some extra leaves and put some balls in there. But let me show you what the card looks like in the memory Dex card looks like in there. It's just some shred, and it's got some confetti in there. So let me put my card in there and show you the card in the box. Turned out really well. I am happy with how it turned out, and I can just throw those leaves in there, make it a little more festive. And then the box lid. There we go, guys. I was very happy with the turnout of this, and I am so glad that Isabel's Craft and Designs popped up on my news feed, because she was able to inspire me to make my very own milk carton memory Dex card. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this tutorial. It is really fun to make. You know, once you get through a tutorial and you see your end results, it is so satisfying. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I will talk to everyone in the next video. Y'all have a great day, guys.